Hello everyone, I am Dr. Ruchi Agarwal. I welcome you to web-based programming class. Today's topic is working with forms. We will be discussing about get and post method and query strings. So coming to forms, PHP, actually generally we use PHP for developing web-based application, and forms are the key part for most web applications, primarily for getting user input. So forms are generally used to gather information from the user, and depending on your needs, you may store that information into a file or database. For example, you can place order, gather some user statistics, register the person to your web forum, etc. All these things can be done with the help of forms. So main is the form tag that we will be using. So form starting and ending tag is there. So form where the form starts, where the form will start, and the ending form will indicate where the form will end. So the syntax for this form is form name, name equal to form name, then action equal to server side PHP program, method is get or post. So the attributes that you pass in this form tag are name. So let's discuss about all these attributes. So first one is name. Name is what? It is the value passed to the name attribute that uniquely identifies the form so that it may be referenced by style sheets or client-side JavaScript. In action attribute, the value that is passed to the action attribute is the name of the web server side program, which will process the data captured by the form when the data captured is returned to the web server by the browser. So the value passed to the action attribute can either be just the program name or can specify a URL which points to where the program is located on the web server. Alternatively, if the data is not supposed to be sent from the form to a server-side program, then you have to write action equal to mail to and colon, and you can write the complete email address. So that also can be specified, but in this case, the data captured by the form is simply mailed to the email ID by the browser rather than being sent to a program on a web server for further processing. So this also can be done. Then next is the method. Method attribute will have two values, either get or post. So what is this method? The value passed to the method attribute, it defines exactly how the data captured by the form must be sent back from the browser to the web server. So two possible values that are accepted by method attribute is get and post. So let's discuss about both the methods. So get is the default method. Before the browser sends the information, it encodes it using a scheme called URL encoding. So in this scheme, name value pairs are joined with equal sign and different pairs are separated by ampersand. Spaces are removed and replaced with plus character, and any other non-alphanumeric characters are replaced with a hexadecimal values. After the information is encoded, it is sent to the server. So in case of get method, it sends the encoded user information appended to the page request. The page and the encoded information are separated by question mark character. So we can create and use forms in PHP. To get the form data, we need to use PHP super globals $_get and $_post. The form request may be get or post. To retrieve data from get request, we need to use $_get And for post request, $_post. In PHP get form, get request is the default form request. Data passed through the get request is visible on the URL browser so that it is not secured. So that's why it is not secured, because whatever information is there, it will be visible in the URL. You can set limited amount of data through get request. Get method produces a long string that appears in your server logs in the browser's location box. Get method is restricted to send up to limited characters only. Never use get method if you pass password or other sensitive information which are to be sent to the server. Get cannot be used to send binary data like images or Word document to the server. The data sent by the get method can be accessed using query string environment variable. We will see in the future slide about query string. PHP provides $_get associative array to access all the send information using get method. So with HTTP get method, browser's processing agent encodes the data captured by the form into a URL, and data encoded URL is then returned to the web server. The total data that can be dispatched to web server using an encoded URL is limited. Now coming to post method. Post method, post request is widely used to submit form that have large amount of data such as file upload, image upload, login form, registration form, and so on. So data passed through post request is not visible on URL browsers, so it is secure. You can send large amount of data through post request. Post method transfers information via HTTP headers. Information is encoded as described in case of get method and put into a header called query string. Post method does not have any restriction on data size to be sent. Post method can be used to send ASCII as well as binary data. Data sent by post method goes through HTTP header, so security depends on HTTP protocol. By using secure HTTP, you can make sure that your information is secure. PHP provides $post associative array to access all sent information using post method. So post, with the help of post, the browser processing agent returns the data captured by form to a web server using a data stream. So post is preferred over get for returning forms data from a browser to a web server safely and privately. While in case of get method may result in form data being truncated or cached. Additionally, URL is encoded using plain text. Therefore, anyone can read URL and understand exactly what is being sent back to the web server. So that's why for sending secure information, post method is most preferred. It is not visible in the URL as well. Get method, with the help of get method, it is restricted to send up to 1024 characters, and whereas post method does not have any restriction on the data size to be sent. So for sending sensitive information, post method is much preferred. Let's see one example. Here in this case, first we are designing a form in PHP, simple HTML. In body tag, you are using form tag, form, action attribute. You have to mention the name of the file, PHP file. Method is post. You have mentioned the method is post. Here you are designing a form where you have one text box by the name, one more text box by the name email, and one button, submit button is there. So when you click on submit button, your name and email ID will be sent to welcome.php. So when the user fills the form and clicks submit button, form data is sent for processing to a PHP file named welcome.php. Form data is sent with HTTP post method. Let's see welcome.php file. So to display the submitted data, you could simply echo all the variables. Welcome.php file, here what we will do, welcome, this PHP block, PHP code will start with question mark, PHP, echo $_post name. Your email address is, again PHP code, echo $post email, and then you close this. So the output will be whatever name you have entered there. Suppose you have entered Bob, so it will display welcome Bob. Suppose you have entered some mail ID, bob@gmail.com, so that mail ID will be visible here. Your email address is bob@gmail.com. So we can display the submitted data by using simple echo command. If suppose we have used here, instead of get, we have used, instead of post, we have used get. So in that case, we will use get variable, $_get. Remaining code will remain as it is. But when you submit, your data will be visible in the URL. Now coming to query string. Information that can be sent across web pages. This information is called query string. This query string can be passed from one page to another by appending it to the address of the page. You can pass more than one query string by inserting ampersand sign between the query strings. Query string can contain two things: the query string ID and its value. The query string passed across web pages is stored in $_request, $_get, or $_post variable. Whether you pass the query string by using get or post method, it is stored in $request variable. If you want to access query string, you can use these variables. You should note that whether the query string is passed by get or post method, it can be accessed by using $_request variable. If you want to use $_get variable to access the query string, the form method need to be get. Also, you can use $_post variable to get query string if the form method is post. PHP $_request variable contains the content of both $get, $post, and $_cookie. PHP $_request variable can be used to get result from form data sent with both get and post method. Thank you. Have a nice day.